I've been playing racing games for most of my life. Mario Kart, Crash Team Racing, Ridge Racer, Midnight Club, Burnout, Flatout, Tokyo Extreme Racer, all very dear to me and will likely be getting challenge runs on the channel in the near future. Need for Speed is no different. Hot Pursuit 2 on the PS2 was one of the first console games I ever played. I spent hours doing pursuits and Most Wanted, trying to get the highest bounty and pursuit length before I inevitably did something stupid and got busted. Carbon is probably up there in my most replayed games ever, just due to the length and very free-form progression. So it seems like a pretty obvious target to attempt a challenge run. Our target today is found in the Pursuit Evasion Silver Challenge Series event, where the player is forced to evade the cops for 5 minutes while driving this garbage. Derogatory. Would it be possible for me to steal his vehicle and beat the entire career mode with it? Well, I haven't done the challenge yet, so I don't know. Probably. Here are the ground rules. Rule number 1. I can only use the dump truck. Duh. Rule number 2. No wrong warping, so we need to win 2 of the 3 events in every territory and defeat all the bosses like normal. Rule number 3. I'm banning the use of Speedbreaker, since that would remove our biggest weakness, and I want the full garbage day experience. Rule number 4. No using crewmates' abilities, but if Neville happens to win an event for me, I will take it. Rule number 5. I need to use cheats to give myself the dump truck, but anything beyond that is not allowed. Duh. With the rules established, let's begin the run, shall we? So, first impressions. It turns like a boat, but what car in this game doesn't? My screen is about 40% dump truck ass at the moment, and not the good kind, so I guess I'm playing in bumper cam. The car is surprisingly fast, and it even comes with nitrous for what will probably be its only appearance on the channel. Enjoy it while it lasts. Getting actual races. By the way, I figured out how to add cars to my safe house. The camera works now. Getting in actual races. Yeah, that's pretty much the case. It's still tier 1, so I'm at no risk of losing, obviously. This sprint race gives us a long straightaway where we can reach a blistering top speed of 163 miles per hour before quickly crashing into a wall and losing all of it. Again, tier 1, so this doesn't result in a loss, but slightly worrying. Speed trap events are pretty awful, as you'd expect. I can go fast in the straightaways, but even the slightest turn required, and all that speed is just gone. God forbid I need to make a sharp 45-degree turn. Dallas almost beats me here due to the speed loss, but I just barely squeak out the victory. That was way too close. I am not looking forward to doing harder variants. Checkpoint events aren't difficult or anything, at least yet. But I want to highlight this section of the map right here. You'd never even think about it in 99% of the cars in this game. It's such a wide turn that literally any car can do it, no problem. I make the left turn, and then I keep going left, and then I keep going left, and I keep going left right into the wall. I was holding right that entire time, but all the junk in my trunk basically makes countersteering not a concept that exists. Oh boy, can't wait for Silverton. Funnily enough, the drift cam on this car ends up being way more obnoxious than the normal camera. If you can even see it all, just due to how dark it is. You'd assume this car would be awful here, and you'd be right. Not exactly easy to Tokyo drift something around that's the size of an average modern American sedan. Luckily, we're playing Need for Speed Carbon, a game where you can hit every single wall and still be 100,000 points above second place. Drift events will never be an issue, and I will always take them when I can. With the basic event types covered, let's go kick Angie's ass. The first attempt against Angie actually starts pretty well. A crash early in the race allows me to gain a massive lead. Unfortunately, my next challenge run comes to stop me, and that's the end of that. Attempt 2 doesn't have the massive crash at the start, but I still manage to stay ahead. Mostly focusing on making sure she doesn't pass me. I wanted to use this fire truck to help make this tight turn, but I was a little too early and only managed to give it a slight love tap. Unfortunately, I failed a blocker in the side path, and to add insult to injury, I slam right into a taxi on the way out. Angie doesn't take the shortcut, the star of lap 2, but she blocks me in the middle of the road. This is not looking good. Suddenly, she slams on the brakes for literally no reason, giving me back the lead. She passes me again, but then quickly gives it up. I'm able to put up a strong defense until I reach the sharp turn once again. I probably could have used the news van to help me, but I decided to play it safe, and the game decides to reward me with Angie getting stuck here. There's no way she can catch up to me now, and it's smooth sailing to the finish line. Dump trucks aren't exactly known for handling these tight turns, but neither are muscle cars, so we're pretty evenly matched here. I don't have the raw acceleration to pass her, so I can only play it slow and focus on making it to the end. This is the first canyon race in the game, so there's nothing hard about just surviving, even with a dump truck. The second loop is where it gets really interesting. I don't have enough points to comfortably make it to the end by normal means, so I have to rely on getting pegged to the behind to squeeze enough points to win. Basically every canyon race will use this strategy. Easy first try victory, and Kempton is conquered. No, I will not be doing the Race Wars events. I don't want a suspiciously computer-shaped hole in my window after losing multiple 8-minute races. Also, I accidentally had the graphics set to low from another challenge I was doing, so the game should look a bit nicer now. I started with Fortuna because it's the one I chose first. The game isn't too hard yet, but there is a noticeable increase in difficulty going to the Tier 2 cars. I actually had a pretty bad time with the Speed Trap event. I got slowed down 3 times by cars I couldn't avoid, and then the event ended with Neville losing a tie. No problem, right? Just try it again.
Careful, that's gonna cost you. Alright, no more playing.
It took me 3 attempts to realize I can just go slow here so I don't crash. Because I'm kind of an idiot.
If you're gonna do something, do it now.
Thankfully, after the 5th try, it finally let me win the event. If Speed Trap events are this bad now, I dread what's coming to me later. Nothing else in Fortuna gave me any trouble whatsoever. Wolf challenged me to a race, but I ignored him to take on Downtown instead. I have no idea when the Corvettes start spawning, and I do not want to find out the hard way. First off, though, if we're racing tuners, I gotta do a little tuning myself. Okay, understandable. I can make my car slightly shinier, no way! Downtown is kinda awful. As you expect from the home of the tuner cars, Downtown focuses a lot on keeping speed through excessive amounts of sharp turns. Something which I cannot do as a forerunner of filth. I actually gave up on the first race I tried and went to go do something else. I'd play Initial D here, but they'll kill my family. The one benefit to Downtown is you get one of the most useful shortcuts in the game. The AI almost never takes it, and it saves so much time. Basically any track that uses it is free. There's some other pretty knowable shortcuts that make these races baby too. They're so broken. So much for really do a challenge where you're not allowed to take them. I'm kind of realizing Chinatown was the only real challenge of Downtown, just because of how slow the jumping was. Even the center city section, which you think would be horrible for this car, is also horrible for the AI, so it balances out. Even the race against Kenji, which is primarily on this part of the map, was a complete joke. He never held first place for a single second. Imagine sucking this bad. Look at this canyon duel. I threw this shit 3 times, and he gave it back to me every time. Wolf was a bit more of a threat. Not by much. He does a way better job keeping up with the player, taking all the shortcuts, even passing me once. Still a first try victory, with not much effort, but he did better than Kenji. Gold star. I go for an overtake in the canyon duel. It almost works, but Wolf claws it away from me at the last second. I get another opportunity to overtake later into the track. Unlike last time, this one succeeds. Very easy victory. Now I own 3/4 of Palmont City. I have a feeling Darius isn't going to make the last 25% easy. Yeah, this might be a problem. I just could not win this canyon sprint race, no matter how many attempts I threw at it. Anytime I got close to first place, I just can't keep my speed in the turns, or the AI does a really good job at brake checking me. I feel like I probably could win with enough effort and luck, but I also have 2 other races in this territory I can claim, so let's try this first. It took a few attempts, but I finally had a run where I left the initial shortcut in first place. Unfortunately, I let this Ford GT pass me, and the run was over after that. My defense game needs to be on point if I'm going to win this. I decided to re-roll my starting grid to give me a better chance of not hitting cars in the beginning, and it worked exactly as I intended. Unfortunately, making the beginning more consistent doesn't necessarily mean I win. I can get close, but I cannot stress how underpowered I am compared to my opponents here. Several minutes later, I do get the winning run. Race begins with first place ramming straight into a taxi. Turn right after I have some cars that I successfully dodged, which slow down the AI significantly. Hawk attempts to take the lead, but slams on the brakes, letting me keep it. The giant tire does a good job of slowing down most of the crowd, but Hawk manages to slip through and pass me. They slow down this turn, but I fail to capitalize on it, and they stay in first place. Until they take the next turn too wide, and I'm able to pass them. This mistake costed them so much that I'm able to stay ahead until the finish. That was one race. Thankfully, Savannah Street is very easy. There are 2 shortcuts back to back that basically invalidate the entire track. Yippee, I love free progress. Checkpoint events have never let me down. This should be a free win. Huh. I know I'm not playing great, but that seems like a stretch. Guess we'll fight Satan. cannot stress how frustrating canyon duels can be to conquer in these shitboxes. Just this absolute insurmountable wall that demands a 2 to 3 minute wait to even get an attempt. One mistake and it's over, back to the first loop. Eventually you start learning their patterns, learning when it's safe to go for bumps and when you just floor it. You know the route, but you made a mistake, so it's back to the autoscroller now. It's maddening, but you keep going, because eventually, and I mean eventually, it'll work. And when that time comes, the dopamine will be immeasurable. Oh my god. I can't believe it's over. The grind is over. I still got like 20 more tracks of this shit. Wonder what track I have next. That actually wasn't too bad. I'm very glad that needing to take back the territory doesn't matter. Honestly, this one wasn't that bad either. At least, it didn't feel that bad playing it. I have 30 minutes of footage, so I'm probably just going insane. But I don't really have much to talk about. I just rolled the slot machine until either the AI sucked, or Neville the Goat rubber banded me to victory. Praise RNGesus. Most of the events I have left are pretty easy. If not first try victory, then close to it. All except for this one circuit race. I don't think it was that hard, but I just could not put it together for like 40 plus minutes. I had a decent run going, but...
Yeah, we lost visual. Hold on. I have him in sight. Still cooking.
Thankfully, a few attempts later I did break through. All I had to do now was evade the cops.
Units in the area, be advised. The Code 6 suspect was last seen heading east. Squad to be set up around the immediate area. Remaining units begin patrol within the... Stand down. Code 6 is in custody. Secure the scene. Supervisor en route as advised if we need a wrecker.
You cannot be fucking serious. If Wolf by himself was the devil, we're about to fight the Super Devil.
To a hot man.
Wait a minute. Roll that back. One more time. Oh my god. How could I have been so stupid? It's been right there the entire time. So, some context. A couple months ago, I recorded myself doing a run where I beat the entire game in the stock RX-8. I scrapped it because I figured I could do the same thing with some more restrictions, and I haven't finished that run yet. This run is partially spun off from that. Anyway, look at this race in the RX-8 run. Notice how I can't just pass all of them immediately. If Wolf takes this shortcut at the start here, then that's it. GG. Run's over. Wolf is just way too fast, and he will just never give you the opportunity to catch up ever. If you pass Wolf at the first shortcut, congratulations. You get to spend either the next 4 minutes preventing him from passing you, or praying he hits some traffic along the way. This is kind of true for the dump truck run as well. If he passes you, it's very unlikely you'll gain the lead back. But the opponent's stats are partially, if not completely, determined by your stats. So, with our acceleration of basically 0... well, it is still a black box Need for Speed game. It's even funnier in Most Wanted. The average speed in this game is way higher than Carbon. So the AI in comparison when you're using these shitbox traffic cars are just driving in slow motion. Needless to say, the trio went down pretty easily. Like, yeah, if Darius passes me, I lose, but I feel like it shouldn't be this easy. Compared to the RX-8 run, this shit was hard. This shit took me hours to win. Darius was ruthless. I had to basically pray that he fucked up at some point, or else I had no chance. And even then, I had to play perfectly to make sure that he did not pass me. The dump truck run in comparison, yeah, it was still pretty hard. Darius is on my ass the entire time and will take advantage of any chance that he gets. But the gambler inside me is just not as excited playing defense the entire time, instead of hoping for the 1 in a billion chance that I actually get to play the game. I guess I shouldn't complain much about the game wanting me to win, especially since that's going to stop now.
You gotta want it. Are you having fun yet? Are you having fun yet? Trying to keep up. Trying to keep up.
have a lot of trouble finding the words to describe my time in the canyon here. Not because of the lack of suffering. I have like 4 fucking hours of me just throwing myself at this stupid challenge. And that doesn't include the breaks where I stopped recording to do real life things like eat and shower. It's the same issue as Wolf, where you're spending 2 minutes driving to the end to get 1 attempt, and then losing it the first chance you get due to your skill issue. And it's just the worst feeling in the world, and really demotivates you from wanting to continue. And unlike Wolf, I can't just close the game and come back later. If I leave, I have to do the first 4 races again, which, like, yeah, they weren't that hard, but I don't want to do them again, so that just added to the tedium. Tedium, that's probably the word I'd use here, tedium. I think the track is shorter than Wolf's. I didn't check how long Wolf's was specifically, but I know one run of the canyon here is almost exactly 2 minutes. But Darius is also way harder. Thankfully, after 4 hours of grinding this shit, you get pretty good at memorizing the route, so while I still remember it, I'm going to describe step by step how I beat this stupid-ass game. First loop literally doesn't matter here. We're going to be getting all our points taken in the rear like a champ. I used the handbrake to get past the squiggly lines of doom at the start here. I'm not a speedrunner, so I don't know if it actually matters, but it makes me feel more like a gamer for doing it. When you reach the final turn to the straightaway, commence the taking into the rear as planned. Or at least attempt to. Here it was less Darius smashing my backside and more French kissing. When you get to these 180-degree turns, stop trying to get points, speed down the straightaway, and focus on driving until you pass the next set of tiny sharp turns. When you've done that, start squeezing for more points during the wide turn. We'll do the turn a bit slow, so this should be a great opportunity to squeeze a shit ton of points. I didn't risk trying to squeeze points down the fast downhill section. He'll pass you at the end, but don't worry, because he'll take the next section slow and let you pass again. Most important thing is making sure you have a good angle on this last turn, because if he passes you at the end here, it's over. If you can do that and prevent him from passing you, congratulations! You have beaten Need for Speed Carbon with literal garbage. This was definitely a run of this game I have done. Debatable if it's the hardest I've done. I think the RX-8 run I did was harder on average, but the final canyon is like half the challenge, and it's harder with the dump truck and its zero handling, so maybe you'd consider that harder. This is my first big editing project, and also my first time doing commentary, so apologies if it sucks. I'm hoping to improve the more I do it. If you want to see the improvement, hit the funny YouTube buttons to show your support. I'm hoping one day I can be good enough to do this full time. I had a lot of fun making this video, and I'd like to do more challenge runs in the future. Definitely not done with Carbon, at least. It turns 20 this year, so no way I don't have something planned for that. Hopefully the next video doesn't take 6 months to come out. Hopefully I'll see you next time. Take care.